All right, Paris Jackson is in the news. First, I'm gonna give her a round of applause because she's being vulnerable, and we rarely see this level of access and vulnerability into the Jackson world. Now, this is Michael Jackson's daughter. For those of you living under a rock, her name is Paris Jackson. Well, she's defending her choice to share a graphic video of her perforated septum from years of drug abuse. Now, earlier this week, the 27-year-old Paris went on social media and talked about her 6-year sobriety while showing a hole in her nose from past drug use. Look.
Also, I realize I have never actually addressed this, and it can sometimes be very noticeable. I have a really loud whistle. If you go back 2 videos, you can hear it when I breathe through my nose. And that is because I have what is called a perforated septum, slightly different from a deviated septum, and that is it's what you think it's from. Don't do drugs, kids. Or, do. Everyone's going to have the experience they need to have with life. I'm not going to tell anyone what to do, but I don't recommend it because it ruined my life. I don't want to get plastic surgery to fix it because I'm almost 6 years sober, and so you have to take pills when you do a surgery that gnarly, and I don't want to fuck with that. But I've been living with this since I was about 20, and it's a bitch when you're in the studio coughing vocals, and I can actually stick a spaghetti noodle and do that with it.
We didn't need the visual, Paris. By the way, you're still gorgeous as hell. 27, I feel old. I feel like you were just born last week. Well, not last week. 27, damn, she's very pretty, and I love your vulnerability. And I've never met. I did meet Paris once. She, when I used to live at the apartment building from where Equinox is.
Yeah.
I came out one day and went across the street to that. Remember, Walgreens used to be on the corner on Sunset and Vine, and she was like walking by randomly. I was like, "Hey, Paris Jackson." She was like, "Hey," very, very, very short. She was never gonna remember, but to see her all grown up now and to see you be so vulnerable. First of all, congratulations on sobriety, because I think more people that have a platform like yours need to say it. I also like the fact that you didn't judge people who are going through their struggle and saying people have to go through their experiences. You didn't encourage it, but I know that people are going to do what they're going to do, but hoping that people choosing to go down that path come out on the other side like you. I never in my life ever did hard drugs. The most I did, I tried weed a few times, but my lungs were sensitive. And, back in the day, maybe a couple pills here and there, but nothing really extensive. I drank a lot, but when I think about people who are addicted to pills and now in this fentanyl world, they're putting fentanyl in blunts, like people smoking fentanyl and going to sleep and dying. So it's so dangerous. I just hope that anybody out there is listening to Paris, because she's literally trying to save your life. Now, after being, back up. Have you ever done cocaine? Sorry, let me just move on. This show is too real. Everybody's had a life.
Yeah, everybody's had a life.
Well, I'm glad that you're sober. After being so vulnerable in an attempt to bring awareness to the consequences of drug use, critics called Paris out for her graphic video. However, she defended it. Leave the girl alone. Look. She said, "To the people wondering why I shared this, it's not for you. As a recovering heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, alcohol, etc. addict, it's part of my primary purpose to carry the message of recovery to others struggling with it. Not to promote it, but just to carry the message. If this isn't something you relate to, it's totally understandable why it would be confusing for you, and that's totally okay. It's just a different life experience. I'd be grateful for that. I just know that this is for the other people that are either also in recovery or haven't found it yet. Much love." I thought that was a great way of responding to it. I mean, critics are always going to say something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think to your point earlier, the level of vulnerability she has, I think, can touch and impact people in a positive way. And her being able to, like you said, say, do what you're going to do, but just, I recommend not doing it. I think that's great. And I think people judging her for opening up is just ridiculous.
And look, when I wrote my book, God Must Have Forgotten About Me, and I talk a lot about my stories, one of the stories that was one of the most vulnerable, and there's lots of them in there, was my own child molest story. I think there were 2 instances that I put in there. And so for me, when I even look at how I behaved at the city council meeting, I don't want to be that guy, but my triggers are my triggers, right? And so when you've gone through something traumatic like that, something traumatic like what Paris has gone through, and then you become an advocate for people who you want to avoid going down that path, or somebody who's defending or protecting kids. Like I understand why you tell the story in the midst of all the criticism, because you have to. Paris, we appreciate you. We need more of you, and please don't put no spaghetti in your nose, because I think if we get a 911 call of you putting too much spaghetti up your nose and us having to call out 911 and the ambulance for that, you're gonna look like a fool. All right, good luck on the music. Bye.